Fingal Old IRA Commemorative Society, I'd like to welcome you all here to our monument. This year, the 100th anniversary of the Rising. This year is also a very special year in that it is the 100th anniversary of the death of Thomas Ashe, who was commandant of the 5th Battalion Fingal Brigade, and also some of the displaced men from Dublin brigades that joined the brigade in Easter week and won the only successful battle of the Rising. The men of the Fingal Brigade who fought here were ordinary men and women of farming background, trained by Thomas Ashe, who was a teacher and not an army man. They had an assortment of arms, rifles, handguns and some shotguns, and a small amount of ammunition. They also had a small amount of homemade explosives. They faced a force of RIC men twice their number, who were highly trained and well armed. But Thomas Ashe pushed his men forward to fight and not look back. After 5 hours of battle, Thomas Ashe's men surrounded them and forced them to surrender. I would like to say the activities of the Fingal Brigade under Thomas Ashe during Easter week and throughout Fingal and the Battle of Ashbourne does not get the merit it deserves nationally, as it was the only successful outcome of the Rising. I am very proud that some of my family, uncles and cousins fought under him, and I were very proud to do so. I'm very proud of him. Thomas Ashe died after being force-fed in Mountjoy jail while on hunger strike. May he and all the men and women of the Fingal Brigade rest in peace. I would like to take this opportunity in welcoming the Cathaoirleach of Meath, Jerry O'Connor, Minister of Employment and Social Protection, Regina Doherty, Mayor of Fingal, Mary McCamney, and the public deceased relatives from Meath, and sorry, sorry, I got that wrong. The public representatives from Meath and Fingal, and also the Chief Executive of Fingal County Council, Paul Reid, and members of the Ashe family and related families of the brave men and women who fought in Ashbourne. I would like to invite the Cathaoirleach Jerry O'Connor, Minister Regina Doherty, and Mayor Mary McCamley and Pádraig Ashe to stand for a salute from the volunteers. Now I'll call on Paul Russell for a Piper's Lament. Thank you, Paul. Now I'm going to call on Pádraig Ashe, a grand-nephew of Thomas Ashe, to lay the wreath on behalf of us all. Frank. Stay there, Darren. Thank you, Pádraig. Mairead Morality is also here. She's a grandniece of Thomas Ashe. She's here beside Pádraig. They had their venue in Lispool yesterday, and they came all the way up in a rush. I believe Mairead flew up. Thank you for coming along to all the Ashe family. Thank you very much. Now I'm going to call on Ewan O'Brien to recite the famous poem that Thomas Ashe wrote while in jails in England. Let me carry a cross for Ireland, Lord.
Let me carry your cross for Ireland, Lord, by Thomas Ashe, written in Lewis prison. Before I actually read the poem, I just want to say that Peter Grant, who designed the monument, took as his inspiration this poem. Let me carry your cross for Ireland, Lord. The hour of her trial draws near, and the pangs and the pains of the sacrifice may be borne by comrades dear. But Lord, take me from the offering throng. There are many far less prepared, though anxious and all as they are to die, that Ireland may be spared. Let me carry your cross for Ireland, Lord. My cares in this world are few, and few are the tears will for me fall when I go on my way to you. Spare, oh spare to their loved ones dear, the brother and son and sire, that the cause we love may never die in the land of our heart's desire. Let me carry your cross for Ireland, Lord. Let me suffer the pain and shame. I bow my head to their rage and hate, and I take on myself the blame. Let them do with my body whate'er they will. My spirit I offer to you, that the faithful few who heard her call may be spared to Roisin Doom. Let me carry your cross for Ireland, Lord, for Ireland weak with tears, for the aged man of the clouded brow and the child of tender years, for the empty homes of her golden plains, for the hopes of her future too. Let me carry your cross for Ireland, Lord, for the cause of Roisin Doom.
Thank you, Una. And now I'm going to ask the Minister for Employment and Social Protection, Regina Doherty, to address you.
Thanks very much, Noel, and thank you everybody for coming out today, particularly, as Noel has mentioned, the extended members of the Ashe family. I think we're all very grateful to have them here today. Last year, the centenary of 1916, we had many great events all across the country to commemorate what happened in 1916 and the impact that those events had on the future and the future generations of Ireland. However, ongoing annual commemorations like this today are vital to ensure the actions of our volunteers in 1916 are never forgotten. Such commemorations are an important part of both our history and our national culture. Not only is it an honour for me here to be today as your representative in Meath East, or one of your representatives in Meath East, it's a particular honour for me given that my family has very strong links to Thomas Ashe, and particularly to the Battle of Ashbourne, where my great uncle Padre Blanchfield fought alongside Thomas Ashe. The Fingal Old IRA Commemoration Society has a long history in working to ensure that the achievements of the Fingal volunteers, otherwise known as the 5th Battalion of the Dublin Brigade, are forever remembered. As we know, this annual commemoration at Rathcross marks the battle which took place here on Friday, the 28th of April, Easter week in 1916. What's particularly significant this year is that it's also the centenary of the passing of Thomas Ashe, his death, the Fingal volunteer leader who died tomorrow 100 years ago in 1917 whilst he was on hunger strike. I think it's brilliant that this monument, based on the poem that he wrote that you've just heard from Una, Let Me Carry Your Cross for Ireland, Lord, was completed last year, 57 years after it was originally erected to commemorate the two Fingal volunteers, Thomas Rafferty from Lusk and John Crenigan from Swords, who were both killed in the Battle of Ashbourne. The rededication of this monument last year by the chairman of the Society, Noel McAllister, to commemorate the contribution of all of the volunteers who fought in the Battle of Ashbourne under Thomas Ashe's direction, under Dick Coleman in Dublin, and in the War of Independence and the Fingal volunteers, is positive in terms of ensuring recognition of every single person involved, both now and into the future. Without the contributions of those volunteers, our country may not have taken the path which has ultimately brought us all to where we are today. Recognition of these events, remembering our history, our shared history, is an integral part of realising just how much progress our country has made, how we must continue to work to ensure that the ideals that inspired our volunteers continue to frame the direction of our nation in the years and in the decades ahead.
Thank you, Minister. And I'm going to call on our Secretary, Paul O'Brien, who wants to say a few words.
Thank you very much, folks. A great honour to be here today. Great to see so many of us here today. This is Noel McAllister's last year as chairman, and I think we owe a debt of gratitude to Noel. Over 40 years service with the old IRA, put a lot of hard work into it, dedicated man, a good family man, a caring man. It's a pleasure to have served with him, if I can say that, Noel. I probably ring no more times than I ring my wife. But just to say that over the years, the 75th anniversary we were overlooked, and the 50th anniversary we were overlooked. And in 2016, Noel decided this wasn't going to happen. So he put a team of men together, and his aim was to put something on the 100th year anniversary and to make sure that we were there at the forefront to work with all the groups and to make sure that we weren't forgotten, as well as the brave men and women who fought in Ashbourne. So it's a great honour to see all the councillors here today, especially the Black Raven Pipe Band. Thank you so much for the great turnout. It's great to see the devotion of the Black Raven Pipe Band, 3 generations of the Russell family. I've gone to a few nights to see them practice, and it's great to see the drive they have and the knowledge they want to give to the children. It's fantastic. And all the young kids and everything, it's great. Thanks so much for that. To Maureen O'Toole as well, the chairman of the Black Raven Pipe Band, thanks very much. I contacted her during the year and she never lets us down. Thank you for that. Thomas Ashe, you may say, didn't make his mark, but he made his mark in Fingal and he made his mark in Ashbourne. We've got the Round Tower, we've got our society, we've got the Black Ravens. So let us all carry the cross for Ireland now, and let's make sure this day is not forgotten. The 100-year anniversary, so it's important from now on that we remember to respect this monument and pride the place of where it is. I want to thank the volunteers here today. Fantastic job as usual, and I want to thank everyone else that turned up, the councillors. It's great to see us all, thanks very much. There was times we had celebrations here, there was only ourselves and the Black Ravens. So it's great to see so many people here today. Thank you for that. So before I go, I just want to say there's a book available, A Life Less Ordinary, written by Una O'Brien, and it's a nice little section about the volunteers there, and there's a nice thing about Thomas Ashe there as well. So it's a nice keepsake to have today. Now we're not looking for any money, but we're looking for donations if that's okay, because we have a lot of things to pay for. We have tea and coffee laid on in the Foxes Inn in Ballymadone, and you're all welcome back. Tea, coffee and sandwiches. And again, I want to thank Noel McAllister, and thank you very much, Noel, for the job you've done. You've done a fantastic job, and that's why we're all here today. I also want to thank the Minister, Terry O'Connor there, the Mayor of Fingal, and Pádraig Ashe and the other Ashe relations. Thanks very much for coming today. If I could present the Minister with a medal, please. The rest of payments. This is a medal. I'd also like to present a medal to Paul Ashe. Thanks again, folks. I really appreciate it. And thanks to the committee as well for the great work. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Paul, for those kind words. Embarrassing me here. My first recollection of the monument here and the commemoration in Ashbourne was 55 years ago. I was about 18 years of age, so you can make up what age I am anyway. And bringing my uncle over here to Ashbourne for the commemoration ceremony and for the Mass in Ashbourne Church, and walking down the narrow road, and it was a narrow road, very high trees on each side, all the way down here, 300 or 400 people behind the Black Raven Pipe Band, from the church to here. It's a great memory. It's going back 55, I can still remember it vividly. There's a period of time here around the year 2000 when we'd only a handful of people here at our commemoration ceremony, and it's great to see such a great crowd here. You know, we had to make up our mind whether we were going to continue or not, but we kept going and we pushed it on and we kept going. And I thank you very much for coming along. Thank you. Now I'm going to call on Sid Kearns for the last post in Valley while Peter Gaffney raises the tricolour. Now I'm going to call on the Black Raven Pipe Band for a round of Ian. And let's all sing along with it, okay? you very much to the Black Raven, and also to Sid Kearns, our bugler, and to, I want to just mention two people, Carl Boland and Paul O'Brien, for all the work they've done on this for today. Thank you all again for coming, and I'm going to call on our bugler for the March of the Colours. Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody. That concludes our commemoration ceremony here today. And thank you again for coming. And anyone who wants to take photographs, the volunteers and the colour party will be back here on the monument. So if you want to take a few photographs, okay? Thank you very much again.